Design backward, execute forward. Let's talk about its application to the game of golf. We have an objective. We want to get a little white ball into a very small hole on this side of the course. Well, how do we get there? We can work from tee box forward. That's one way to go about doing it. And that's a traditional, typical way to go about doing it. Another way to go about doing it is to plan where do you want to hit certain shots from. Let's just say that I'm really good from about 100 yards in, right at that 100-yard mark. And I'm playing a 500-yard par 5. If I want to be 100 out here, then now I've got 400 yards to work with. Now, if I want to hit 3 shots into this green, and I hit my 4-iron pretty well, I'm going to back up another 200 yards. That gets me 300 yards away from the hole. That means I've got another 200 that I need to hit for that par 5. Here's the reality. I'm not really going to hit my 4-iron and 4-iron 200 yards perfectly and then have that 100-yard shot left. So what I can do is I can take a little bit more risk and hit driver. See if I can hit driver 250 to 270 and get a little bit further out here. This gives me a chance to either hit to my target of 100 or play a little bit longer in. Now, here's the problem. I've been struggling with my wedges in this 50 to 25 to 0 yard space. I am mentally broken when it comes to that. So when thinking about a par 5 like this, I want to design backward from 100, another 200, which gets me to the 300, and then give myself some options to move forward. This is what I mean when I start talking about things like design backward and execute forward. And we're going to apply this here in this week's Learn, Think, Act to the onboarding process for both customers, internal customers, and external customers. If you want to see that, go to Learn, Think, Act. Building on this golf piece, let's talk about how we can design specifically for our customer experience. Now, if our goal when we're talking about customer experience is we want someone within the first 90 days to achieve a specific set of results, what I would suggest is figure out what's the thing that they indicate just before that 90-day period to indicate that they've got those capabilities. So there might be an assessment. There might be an assessment phase the day before or something like that. There might be multiple assessments all the way through. There's going to be an opportunity to put things into practice, do the work. That's got to happen before the assessment. Now, in between the practice and the assessment, there should be some kind of reflection or feedback evaluation, maybe iteration. Maybe we put an iteration step in here. We iterate feedback. Before they're able to do things practice, maybe they need to shadow, see someone actually do the work. And before they're ready to shadow, maybe they need to learn. They need some kind of training. So now we've got a couple of different steps in our onboarding process to get to that first 90 days of success. If we want them to pass this assessment, this test, this is the test, we want them to pass that test, what are the things that we need to have in place in order for them to be prepared? Well, again, we've got some feedback built in here. We maybe have feedback at each one of these conversion stages, and that might be help with the baton toss, the handoff, the conversion from one stage to another. Did they actually learn the things that we wanted them to learn here in the training phase? What do we know about that? Can they see those being applied here in that shadow phase? What do they know about that? Can they put that work into practice? What do they know about that? And then based on feedback, are we at a point where they've demonstrated success and now we can get ourselves into a situation where they can show some level of proficiency? This works when onboarding both an internal customer and an external customer. From an internal customer perspective, this is just capability that we're building. From an external customer perspective, those steps might be slightly different. What I'm going to challenge you to do is think a little bit differently about how you think about onboarding customers, both internal and external, that new client that you brought on or the new person that you brought into the organization. Typically, people will want to start right from here. So they fill out their paperwork, and then the next thing they need to do is they just need to go through a bunch of training, and then we're going to go ahead and put them in front of customers or do whatever. When you build from the beginning, If you build from the beginning, what ends up happening is at least what I've seen is you typically tend to add more noise than is necessary. You create more complexity because everybody has an opinion about what needs to be added. When you actually work from the end and work backward, you can answer a really clear question. What is it that someone specifically needs to know? What is it that someone specifically needs to do? What do they need to know? What do they need to do? How do they need to think? What do we want them to think? At each of these stages. So right before they do the assessment, we want them to have confidence. They're going to feel confident that they were prepared to go through and do the work. Right before they actually put this work into practice, they're going to feel confident that they understand what the work is because they've seen somebody. Right before they go and see somebody, they're going to feel confident that they know what they're looking for because we did some training. Right before they go through and learn and train, I don't know how much confidence they're going to have other than they know that they made the right decision, either joining you as a member of your team or bringing you on as a service provider to actually help them think different, do different, and be different, help them innovate, help them create, help them achieve the results that they're looking for. Leverage your inner covey. Begin with the end in mind, design backward, execute forward. Apply some design thinking to build out the processes to help achieve the results that you're looking for. If you know somebody who would find this valuable, please share it with them. If you'd like some help with this kind of stuff inside your organization, this is exactly what a guided whiteboard session can do when we start talking about designing for a specific experience. And again, I do that with teams of up to 10 people for up to 90 minutes. Begin with the end in mind, design backward, execute forward. I'm back. I screwed up. I forgot one of the most important pieces. This really big one right here. Confirmation. The confirmation step, and this is a step that we've got in the Catalyst sale process. At that 90-day period, we want to confirm, can the people that we brought in do the things that we wanted them to do, which is this assessment piece in here. But even more important, when you're working with customers, confirm that you did the thing that you said you were going to do. Did we do the thing that we said we were going to do? If we did, great. Is there somebody else we could help? If we didn't, not so great, but let's fix it. And do that both for internal and external customers. Don't forget the confirmation step. That confirmation is critical, and you confirm with the other person. You confirm and you validate with the other person that you did what you said you were going to do, that they're doing the things that they said they were going to do. This is where people fail and start to mismanage expectations going forward, and they never catch up. Do that inside that first 90 days. You'd be shocked at what happens both with your new customers you bring on and the new members you bring into your team.